This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, musician, JACOB Lucero. But before we get to our interview, here's a sneak peek at his incredible music video for the song, Down in the Valley.
Down in the valley, valley so low, hang your head over, hear the wind blow, hear the wind blow, dear, hear the wind blow, hang your head over, hear the wind blow. Roses love sunshine, violets love dew.
Well, hello, JACOB. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
JACOB, doing so much better now that we're finally talking. And I love the fact that I am in New York and you are in New Mexico, and we are connected through this incredible app already, FENIX360. I want to know, JACOB, you're an incredible talent with so many different skill sets. Who were your musical influences growing up? And when did you pick up that guitar and know, wow, this feels right?
Well, so first, let me think. Well, when my dad, he picked up an old, late 80s Dodge Ram. Like it was like a small little pickup truck, and we're driving it home. And my dad was like, oh, look, there's a cassette in here still. I'm like, okay, let's put it on. So I remember I'm like maybe in early elementary school, we put it on, and I'm just like completely shocked. I'm like, what is this thing? And he's like, oh, I don't know. So he takes out the cassette, and it's a recording of Mozart's 40th Symphony. And I'm like, this is freaking amazing. Like, I love this. And ever since then, I just been like consumed and just consuming music ever since then.
I love that.
Yeah, so a lot of my stuff is like I'm a classical violinist. So that's how I grew up, and I took violin when I was in first grade, but then it didn't really start going until I was in middle school. Once I get into high school, going to your guitar question, I was in high school, didn't have any friends, and there's some guys off to the sidewalk, the cool guys playing their guitars and everything. So I'm like, all right. So I go over there. I'm like, hey, so I play some music. They're like, oh, what do you play? I'm like, oh, I play violin. They're like, oh, okay. And they kept strumming on their guitar. I'm like, you jackasses. So I go over, go to my uncle's house. I was like, hey, can I take this? He's like, oh, sure. So I pick up his guitar and learn 3 chords on it. And then I go back to school. I'm like, hey, let me play with you. And we start playing guitar together. And that's how the guitar came into my life.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Listen, I want to know too, how during these past 2 years, you've been able to pass the time and still feel that urge to create.
It's been hard.
Yeah.
The last 2 years for me, like pandemic wise, it wasn't too bad for me, just because I was just super busy. Like I had another kid, like I have a 21-year-old right now. So she is still like a baby. I'm currently going back to school. I'm getting my master's in music, and then I'm also working full time. So it's just been like pandemic hit, everything shut down, but my life just went, which has been great because like with pandemic, like everything's not going on. And then like school wise, like, okay, we're not going to do classes. And like, okay, well, I get to spend a good year just like holding my little baby. And this is fantastic. So the pandemic hasn't like hit me as hard as it has with other people in that aspect.
And no, and it's been like that for a lot of people. And also the fact that you've been given this time on a positive front to spend time with your family is something that, you know, that'll never be taken away from you.
Right, exactly. It's like it came at the perfect time. which is a terrible thing to say.
No, it's okay. I mean, I think what I've kind of come to terms with is that no matter what you say that is positive about these last 2 years, it may never come out as right or as cleanly as you'd like, but it's part of the truth of the matter. Even with those that have been dealt with traumas, I've been dealt with some deaths of really good friends, and it's been traumatic, and I'm still moving through it. But at the same time, within the darkness was some really beautiful light. And and speaking of light, my friend, I want to know, and I'm sure the audience wants to know as well, when can we expect new music from Mr. Jacob?
My brother just wrote me a text message like a week ago saying, hey, I want to design a poster for you, get some more music out. So my goal is I'll be finished with my master's in the summertime. So I'm going to be writing a ton of new music in the fall and then testing it out. Hopefully by next summer, I'll be able to start recording again.
Something, and again, sometimes I get called by my musical muse, whatever you want to call. I have an idea for you, Jacob. What about this?
Okay.
Is there ever a world where you would possibly create an original children's album of music and song that could possibly be something that you put out into the world?
Children's songs.
You're like, Will? No.
Never thought about it.
Well, I mean, you're a young dad.
Right. Yeah. But I've like I sing like kid songs with my girls all the time, and it's really fun, but I never thought of actually recording it just because I guess I can make it musically interesting and musically fulfilling, but my last EP was a lot of I didn't have any original works in it. So I feel like my next project's going to be originals. If it's an EP of originals or a full album of originals, I think that's where I want to go next.
That's
and then
amazing.
Maybe go back to covers. Who knows?
Listen, I'm throwing out ideas with my husband all the time. I usually get no's, Jacob, so I'm used to this rejection. But listen, I want to let everyone know, for more on the incredible Jacob Lucero, you can read more about him right below this video. Jacob, I'm so excited you're coming on board this incredible new social media app, FENIX360, but also I'm so excited that we are now connected.
Yeah, I'm excited too. The app has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed scrolling through it. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you.